Straight into the fascinating world of child development and pedagogy. Welcome to today's explainer. We're diving straight into the fascinating world of child development and pedagogy, or as it's beautifully known in Hindi, Bal Vikas. Whether you're an educator, a parent, or really just someone curious about human psychology, understanding exactly how we grow and learn is absolutely fundamental. We're going to break down these core concepts using a bilingual approach today, blending English terminology with key Hindi phrases to give you a truly comprehensive, culturally grounded grasp of the material. Let's get into it.
Now, let's kick things off with a concept that completely flips how we usually think about learning. Development, or vikas, isn't just a kid thing. It is a continuous process, a satat prakriya. It spans literally from the moment of conception right to the very end of life, womb to tomb or gardab se kabra tak. It's a lifelong journey. It doesn't pause, it doesn't take a vacation. You are constantly developing, evolving, and adapting every single day of your life.
Here is our game plan for today. We'll look at growth versus development, the broad domains of development, mastering motor skills, and finally, cognitive development and the brain.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, Growth versus Development.
It's super common to use the words growth and development like they mean the exact same thing, right? But scientifically, they're totally different. Growth, or vriddhi, is quantitative. Think height, weight, physical shape. You can measure it with a ruler or a scale. It's your physical hardware, and crucially, it stops when you hit maturity. But development, or vikas, that's a much broader umbrella. It includes both quantitative and qualitative changes, like how you process emotions or learn to navigate the world. If growth is your hardware, development represents the endless software updates that just keep downloading your entire life.
And you know, these continuous software updates don't just happen randomly. They actually follow a very strict pattern. They're progressive, orderly, and sequential. You can easily remember this as the POS sequence. A kid babbles before they speak, right? They stand before they walk. There's a set order. Plus, development is modifiable, meaning you can always learn a new skill or break a bad habit, but it is absolutely not reversible. You can't unlearn walking to become a crawler again. The arrow of development only ever points forward.
Moving on to Section 2, the broad domains of development.
Development is essentially a giant interconnected puzzle categorized into the PCSE framework: physical, cognitive, social, and emotional development. And the absolute biggest takeaway here is how deeply intertwined they all are. If a child is feeling physically sick, their cognitive focus in class is going to plummet, which might make them socially and emotionally irritable with their friends. You literally cannot isolate one domain from the other. They all rise and fall together.
Next up, Section 3, Mastering Motor Skills. When we look at the physical engine of a child, their motor development, there's a golden, unbreakable rule. Physical growth always flows from gross motor skills down to fine motor skills. Or, in Hindi, from Sthul Gati Kaushal to Suksham Gati Kaushal. It is a completely universal step-by-step process. Let's break that down a bit. Gross motor skills involve your big muscles, your arms, legs, and core. These are the muscles that let you crawl, stand, run, and jump. Fine motor skills, on the flip side, are all about the tiny, delicate muscles in your hands, fingers, and eyes. This is picking up a tiny object with a precise pincer grip, drawing, writing, or even doing something as delicate as applying kajal. Think about it. Kids naturally use their big muscles to run around like crazy way before they develop the minute precision required to sit still and neatly write their own name.
You can really see this contrast when you picture a boy running at full speed. That's pure gross motor action, using those large core and leg muscles to propel himself forward. Now compare that to a young girl sitting quietly, intensely focused on drawing a picture. She's relying entirely on incredibly complex hand-eye coordination and the fine motor skills in her fingers. That exact journey, from running wildly to drawing precisely, is the fundamental trajectory of human physical development.
Finally, Section 4, Cognitive Development and the Brain.
Now let's talk about the processing center, how intellect, logic, and imagination actually evolve. When we discuss cognition, we have to talk about how the brain is functionally divided into two spheres. You have the left brain, which is your analytical powerhouse. It's strictly logical, highly structured, and handles things like science, math, and language. It demands order. But then you have the right brain. This is your center for boundless creativity. It thrives on fluidity, imagination, drawing, music, and dance. Both sides are absolutely essential, and true cognitive development is really about nurturing the harmony between that sharp analytical left brain logic and that flowing, expressive right brain creativity.
So we've traveled from the womb to the tomb today. We've learned that physical growth is just the hardware, but development is your lifelong software update.
We've explored the interconnected PCSE framework, that vital shift from gross to fine motor skills, and the beautiful dance between the logical left and creative right brain. So my question for you is this: how will you use this unified bilingual understanding to actually identify and nurture these interconnected domains in the children around you? Whether you're teaching, parenting, or just observing, think about how you can apply this the next time you interact with a learner. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and keep exploring.